Hello and welcome to another episode of Bare Bones Wargaming, a show with no bells, no whistles, no frills, just a man, a camera, and his game. This episode, I'm going to be taking a look at a game here. Going to unboxing episode here, I should have mentioned. Going to unbox First Strike 62, published by Schutz Games, designed by Bruce Costello. Now, I will admit, I picked this up because I have enjoyed a lot of Bruce's other designs. I have Warplane Drop Shop 1 and 2. I have Red Dragon, Green Crescent, and Victory in Vietnam 2, which I think is an outstanding game for a simulation of the Vietnam War. So when I heard about this, and I, like a lot of other people when it comes to the Cold War, I'm very interested in the Cuban Missile Crisis. One of my favorite books is Essence of Decision, which basically analyzes the Cuban Missile Crisis using the three major models of decision-making theory: the rational actor, the action channel, and then organizational output frameworks. So, going to take a look at this here, see what's inside the box. It seems like this is a little tougher game to track down, so I thought I would share it and show you what's there. So this, here you can see the front, the two major men there. One of my favorite pictures of all time of the Cold War is at the end of their 1961 summit meeting in Vienna, and you can just see Kennedy looking at Khrushchev, and you almost read his mind like, holy cow, what is this man? Who is this guy? Kind of cool. Back shows you the map, very neat, which we'll look at here in a minute. So inside the box, we've got a couple of things here. We've got a 20-some page rule book. Okay, by today's standards, it's not real fancy. It's basically simple black and white. Overall, I've found it to be, I finished reading the rules the other day. Or actually, this morning I finished them. I found it to be pretty decent. There's a couple examples of play, which is always nice to have. But, as you can see, it's very simple. It's very straightforward, very bland, if you will. Then you got your scenario booklet, which basically lists the different scenarios, the alert levels for each side, the DEFCON, and then of course, how everybody sets up. There's a campaign game, and then there's several shorter games as well. Then a big part of the game are the player aid cards, because the player aid cards here basically show you your different options, different die rolls and stuff that you do here. Command points is how you basically mobilize your forces to launch missiles. You got to fuel your missiles because this is 1962, so you kind of have to keep that in mind. So there's that. There's a combat table, such as it is, which is mostly nuclear strikes and air defenses, to be honest. I mean, that's kind of the heart of the combat. But again, you can see it's very simple, very straightforward. Then there's the U.S. player card, which is a little different because of the PSYOPs, the Single Integrated Operational Plan, I believe, if I remember correctly, what it stands for. Okay, and again, very similar to the Soviets, you have the command points, attack option tables. The PSYOP tells you what you can attack and what you cannot. Now, there is an original game called First Strike, which I do have, but it was basically a desktop one, so I never mounted the counters and stuff, but I have it somewhere in my collection. So this is, if you own that, this is like the quick start guide to help you scale back, if you will, to 1962. Then you got your counters. Nice big thick counters there. Okay, this is done by Blue Panther Publishing, which is very easy to see when you do it. So you got your lovely mushroom clouds. Okay, you got your command point markers here, and then of course the heart of the game is the other sheet, because here you have all your missiles and bombers. And again, notice the number of bombers versus number of missiles. So back in 62, there was still very much a bomber-based attack force for both sides. So you have all that. As well as you have some ground forces involved, some fleets and stuff, depending for the campaign game, to kind of simulate that. So if you've seen Warplane Drop Shot, where you have like the Europe map and the world map, it has the feel of that, from what I gather from the rules. Now, again, I haven't actually got around to playing it yet. As you can see, the counters are still intact. And then last but not least, we got the map. So let's take a quick look at that. It comes in two map sheets, so here's the one. Okay, here's one side of the world, the United States. And as you can see here, it kind of zoom in here a little bit. So you can see, if you see there, you've got like the locations of the missiles and stuff already. The bombers, of course, you can scramble them and, you know, put them anywhere, because they were plans to put them on highways and things like that once they got them scrambled from the bases. You know, all kinds of crazy stuff like that. So, of course, again, you've got all of North America here headed for the polar ice cap. And you've got, you know, your command point, your ASW, your key. The other side is your list of actions, okay, your holding box. And then, of course, the other side of the map, which is tinged red, which is the other side of the world for the Soviet Union. Oops, that one doesn't want to unfold for me very well. There we go. There it is. Oops, I got it upside down. There's the other side of the map. As you can see, then you got a polar projection, which is cool. Okay, which, again, it's not exactly laying flat because, you know, for obvious reasons. But again, if you look, you got the same kind of thing going on in the Soviet Union. You get all the details. You got air bases and missile silos and all that jazz and stuff. Right? So that's basically, I mean, this is very much at the strategic level. You basically have your command points. You decide how to escalate things. You can start very simply, peacefully, if you will, and then escalate to general war. You can do a theater war where you only attack targets in like Europe and do things like that, as far as the game is concerned. So, and there's a bunch of optional rules too, as you get further along, that you can add some things to add some variety to it. So I'm going to go ahead here, and probably starting tomorrow, I'm hoping, knock on wood, I'm hoping to go ahead and give this a whirl. Again, like I said, I picked it up because I like Costello's other designs, and it does seem like it'll be interesting, and I thought it would be a nice complement to Red Menace, which I did a video for quite a while back. But that's primarily a solitaire game. This is a two-player game, which, of course, naturally, I will be playing solo. So, that's all the components that you get here if you get the boxed version of this particular game. So I've also picked up another game, Cuban Missile Crisis, which won't be here for a few weeks from Canada, but I'll be looking forward to that too as well. Doing a little Cold War stuff. I haven't done Cold War a lot recently because I just haven't really been interested, to be honest. So that's what's inside the box. If you like this kind of era and this time period, you might want to check it out. So again, this is First Strike 62, published by Schutz Games, designed by Bruce Costello. So that's what's inside the box. In my next video, I'll be going ahead and showing you how the game works, and we'll fire off some missiles and launch some bombers and scramble some bombers and put some folks at failsafe, which if you've never seen that movie, you should. Not the TV version they did, but the original one from back in the early 60s with Henry Fonda and Fritz Lang and, no, not Fritz Lang. I'm thinking of the wrong person. He was in the Twilight Zone, the obsolete man thing. I can't think of his name, but Fritz Weaver, that's it. Fritz Weaver is his name. Fritz Weaver is in it. Very young Larry Hagman is in it. You know, Walter Matthau in a serious role. So very interesting. If you've never seen Failsafe, definitely check it out. And of course, Dr. Strangelove, which is the ultimate dark comedy movie to me, in my humble opinion. Love that movie. So we'll see how this goes with First Strike 62. So this is Tim Korchner from Bare Bones Wargaming, saying thanks for watching, and we will see you next time when the bombers are scrambling, when everybody's getting the go codes at their failsafe points, and the missiles are flying. Not to sound like the Dead Zone. The missiles are flying. Hallelujah. No, won't be praising anything, just getting an idea of well, how gruesome this would potentially have been. It is interesting playing games like this. The older I get, it's a very strange dichotomy. I'm fascinated by the strategy and what might have happened, but when I stop and think about what it actually is, now that I'm older and have lived for a while and experienced a lot of things, and I'm not 10 feet tall and immortal anymore, it is kind of gruesome when you really just stop and think about what would have happened. You know, average people, average families, and stuff like that. So, anyway, not to end on a bummer note there, but waxing, shall we say, to end this particular episode. So we'll see you next time from First Strike 62 with the short Armageddon scenario. See you then. Thanks for watching.